Too much I love America. I want to stay in Miami. I want to stay in North Carolina. I want to stay in California. I want to stay. Yeah, everyone. Please give me green card.
Japan, Earth. A strange land a half a world away. So many things different here versus where you live. Culture, outlook, politics, views on immigration, views on you. They kind of like you as long as you follow the rules. Japan has a lot going for it right now. A lot of good. There's a lot of issues here too. And that's the part everyone wants to know about. Sho I Yokuso. Welcome to Japan, everyone. Nick and Kim dispatching from far, far, far away. Say hi, Kim.
Howdy, YouTube, from Tokyo.
Now, we are on the island of Honshu. This is the most populous island in Japan. And behind me is the city of Tokyo. This is Shibuya. It's one of 2,000 neighborhoods. It's one of the largest neighborhoods in Japan. And we spent 17 hours agonizing, traveling to get here. So you better listen up, mister. Japan is amazing. It's wonderful, supposedly. Everybody says this is the healthiest, cleanest, smartest, most happiest place in the entire universe. And that's why we came, to find out, is that true? What does that look like? How do we compare to Japan? What are we doing wrong? What are they doing right, if anything? Now, this isn't going to be a travel video where we show you tips on things to do. You can get that anywhere on YouTube. Although I will say, have a light suitcase and wear some good walking shoes. Because talk about sprawl, y'all. Now we're going to get started right here on this busy street. And we're going to go around and check out all of Japan right now. And the trip starts right now on this busy street in downtown Tokyo. Sai-iko. And look at that fancy car on cue, everybody. Oh my goodness, is that the first thing is everybody rich like that in Japan? And all those police officers, are they security guards? So many mysteries we have to solve, and we're gonna try to solve them right now. Alright, so the whole point of this production is to show you what Japan is like and what we can learn from them and what they can learn from us. Kim and I didn't spend 32 straight hours of traveling just to show you weird toilets. This is serious stuff, mister. In case you haven't heard, Japan's been called like the second best country to live in the world. I know, right? We're going to talk about why that is, why Japan's rated so high. But what is Japan? Who are these strange people? As you might know, they're not much different than us. They have American values. Hell yeah. I mean, we wrote their constitution. It's a democratic place. They enjoy many of the same freedoms that you do. Politically and economically, Japan's kind of part of the West. It's democratic, it's capitalist, it's a developed country. They believe in human rights just like Europe and the US do. And they hate China, just like us. But yet, in a bunch of little teeny ways, Japan is culturally distinct from every other country. They have their own mannerisms, their own customs. They look at work and religion and their own families differently than you do. Look, it would take 10 videos to explain it all. We're not going to do it. We're just going to hit the highlights. Here we go. These people got busted maybe for stealing. The police are all surrounding them, going through their stuff here at the market. Uh-oh, busted. They are strict on crime. Should I go ask for an interview? So this is probably day 7 on our trip. Some punks got caught stealing some watches from some high-end store in Osaka, and everybody was filming. You could tell it was a big deal by everybody's reactions. They were like, oh my God, somebody's getting in trouble. Somebody stole. We were standing there and we're like, good for you people. Back home, you can smash and grab and take whatever you want. You get caught, you're back out on the streets the same day. Not here, mister.
Oh, this guy's busted. Ooh, he did it. He tried to run. Oh, they found the loot.
I think that was the first day we were like, this place has some stuff figured out. In Japan, they're very strict on following the rules. They actually enforce the law. And people are afraid of going to Japanese prisons, as they should be.
It's probably somebody smoking or littering.
Tell you what, you never see this in Japan.
Give me my cross, bitch! Give me my...
¿Ya tomaron las placas ahora?
Or this. What are we doing wrong? Guns and drugs are a big no-no here. You can go to prison in Japan for like 10 years for stuff that you can just do openly in the streets in America. Even paint thinner. You can go to jail for a year for using paint thinner illegally in Japan. You bring in hard drugs here and you try to sell them, and you'll be locked up for life. Good. Now you can say, guns aren't the problem, Nick. It's the people using them. But they don't have crazy people running around with guns here. There's 200,000 gun permits in the whole country of 100 million people, and they have 1/20th the homicide rate that we do. There's no drive-by gangsta crap here, no big crowd shootings, no school shootings. All right, so how do they do it? Well, it starts at home. The Japanese teach their kids early about honor and discipline, and there's pressure not to screw up because it'll bring shame onto your family. Your honor is your reputation. They teach that at home. Disruptive acts are spiritually unclean, they're shameful, and just plain selfish here. What are we doing wrong in our homes? It's kind of sad. I feel like a lot of our kids are getting raised by phones. Yes, I said it. It's true. I mean, it's so safe here. We saw 6-year-olds taking the trains by themselves to school in the most packed, crowded train stations in the world. Just grade school kids walking around with backpacks and lunchboxes. I was like, there's people in my neighborhood that won't let their kids go to the end of the street because of all the things that we have to worry about. The schools in Japan teach honor, responsibility, morality, mental health, honesty. The schools here in the States, I think it's just enough just to hope that the kid even shows up. It doesn't act like a jerk. What do they teach the kids in Japan at an early age? What kind of things do they emphasize that they need to learn in Japanese schools?
運動と勉強ですね。それとしつけですね。給食も大事ですね。食べ物。スナックとかじゃないですもんね。必ずお昼は。
So it's basically saying that that's why probably it's just it helps the environment for the children, and he thinks that it's also makes it just a warmer place. Yeah.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you so much.
This is the public bathroom at the beach. Once again, just spotless. That is bleach water. They've come in and just mopped this whole bathroom. You normally see this in an American bathroom and you think that was piss everywhere. That is clean water. Very clean. That's water on the, oh. That is a stand-up urinal. I have not seen that before. Another spotless bathroom in the mall. The bathrooms in Japan are always very clean. Look at that. People are in there smoking. You just stand in a little box and smoke and vape. Too much.
You can see just how clean it is in Japan. It's part of the culture here, like you don't litter. Litter is considered like a disruptive act. It's viewed as like dirtying your own spirit. It's shameful and it's selfish to litter. Law and order, you self-regulate yourself. That's taught in an early age here.
Japan's sidewalks are the world standard, y'all. It is clean everywhere. Mostly. They don't even have trash cans. People just carry their trash around with them. There's respect. Follow the rules. Don't litter. Don't jaywalk. Don't make a mess and ruin it for everybody else. Japan first, you second. You ruin our shit and it disrupts the communal harmony. Look, we saw somebody get out of the car and grab a piece of trash that was blowing around. I was like, what? And then I saw some guy in the Japanese ghetto stop and pick up trash. Nope, never mind. I thought he was. And then this guy, he was just at the train station, just scraping the grime off the railings, the gum, all that stuff. And look at this old Japanese grandma doing her part. Only in Japan. Really, only.
That is why Japan is so clean. An old Japanese grandma, major respect. But what's more interesting is look at all this trash. That is not normal.
All right, sometimes we saw trash. There were very few times we saw trash. So few that we actually had to document it.
Man, it is dead. You can see there's still a lot of debris out, and that is rare. You don't see a lot of trash on Japanese streets. You can tell they went for it last night. Place looks like Baltimore. No, nothing is as bad as Baltimore. Hey. Go on, get out of there.
In there? He already ran.
Oh my God. You got rats. Come on, Japan, you're better than that.
Japan claims to have 2,500 homeless people in the entire country. Imagine that, 2,500 homeless people out of 100 million. Now, we walked everywhere. We went to as many places as we could possibly see here, and I think we saw 3 total homeless people in 3 weeks of walking around. 140 miles of walking, 3 homeless people. Why? Well, they do the same things that we do. They give them money. They give them housing, support. Well, it's certainly cheaper in Japan, so there's cost of living is not as big of a problem. But the big reason, they don't have druggies. They don't have drug crisis. They're not allowing drugs into the country. And pride. It's seriously embarrassing to be homeless here. Like, families will grab you. They'll be like, come inside. You're embarrassing us. You're shaming us. You can't be out there. Everyone's talking about us. Not back where I live. Families are like, get the hell out of my house, you junkie. I never want to see you again.
Yeah. It's very clean.
Yeah.
How do you guys keep it so clean here and safe? It's very clean and safe.
Oh,
What's the
maybe
secret?
because of Japanese mind is so clean. So the rooms and yeah, it's very clean. Yeah.
Why is the Japanese mind so clean? What is that in the culture to? Why is that?
Maybe since junior high school and senior high school, the nice culture we have. So many people mind so clear. Maybe in Tokyo, so many people, many foreigners come to Tokyo. So we can go communicate with many people, more friendly. Yeah, it is so good for Japanese people, but for foreigners, yeah, it's so kindness.
Because we very have a pride. Sometimes look like samurai because very gentle people, Japanese. Because we always waiting to international people because welcome Japan.
忘れようとしたんだ、星座のこと。諦めようとしたんだ、一度は。
全くならないからこの映り方です。これはすごい。すごい。今
ちょっと斜めにこういう感じで、
今日例えば前をちらっと見せるとレイヤード感で。今ちょっと R だからそうそう。
この感じでここだけ前だけ見えるよ。
So I'm not a political expert, clearly, but from what I can gather, the Japanese government seems to be more functional than mine. Way less bloat, way less fraud. It's just easier to get things done here. It's more efficient. You know all the problems we have with our government. They have less of them in Japan, apparently. But it's not perfect. I mean, there's a lot of debt here. They borrow a lot. They print a lot of money. Word is the Japanese economy's kind of in the crapper now. They used to be like the futuristic leader in Asia, and they lost that edge to Korea and China. Their technology back in the 80s and 90s, everybody was like, oh my God, Japanese TVs and cars and phones. And they don't do that anymore. They've been bypassed. And that's another reason they're worried about damn China. I'll tell you what they don't have to spend money on is their defense budget. It's about 7% of their budget. But I hear they're boosting that by a lot because of, again, China. There's a little bit of socialism here. They have a nationalized healthcare system. I think people, they get 10% out of their check every month for healthcare coverage. While Canada couldn't figure it out, Japan seems to be working pretty well. People seem to be happy with it. They actually go to the doctor because they can afford it. There's no gotchas, no high premiums. They set the price control and it works. And what do you know? They live to be the longest of any people in the world. And they're very active. That's because you can walk around in peace and clean and quiet. Seriously, there's no junkies or weirdos anywhere. So people can be active. They can be outside. And they take care of their old people here. We don't. You know that. We even leave our old vets out on the streets. We have a lot to learn from these people, but we're not going to change. Come on now. Oh my God, look at all these people heading to work. Whoa, look out. Commute time, everyone. Early morning rush. These people are busy. They're gonna take over Asia. Look out, China. Tell you what, they work some long hours here. You could say they're overworked, but they don't really work hard. 12 days of pushing paper around in a kind of a I have to look busy way. One workplace philosophy is called Kaizen. Small improvements every day. There's always room for improvement. Slow and steady. And there isn't as much upward mobility in Japan as we have. College, though, it costs a lot less here, I'll tell you that. I think you can go to a university here, just a regular school, and it's maybe $5,000 a year for tuition. That's 3 times cheaper than back home, if you're lucky. And childcare, it's about $500 a month in Japan. Back home, it's $1,500 a kid. You knew that. It's just crazy. But despite that stuff, cheaper college, cheaper healthcare, Japan's population's dropping big time. They're just not having kids anymore like the rest of the modern Western world. They're aging fast here. And so there are deals to be had. There's 10 million vacant or abandoned houses in Japan that people can snag for free, or maybe for 5 or 10 grand. They're older, they're small and modest, some of them, but still, the average price in Japan, it's about the mid $200,000 for a house. Food is way cheaper. You go out to dinner and it's about half the cost of what you would pay back home. And no tipping. You get way better service for half the price. What are we doing wrong? They say that a single person can get by in Japan on about $2,500 a month if you're kind of outside of the Tokyo area. Japan's middle class makes up about 90% of the population. Back in the States, our middle class is about half the population. It's plummeting. They're trying to eliminate our middle class completely. Of course, they make less money here in Japan. The average salaries are about $40,000 a year. If you want to be a teacher here, you're going to make about $22,000 a year, which stinks. If you had a tech job, that pays about $60,000. They just aren't paid well. But even in the big cities, it's not crazy expensive. This place right here is about $400 a month for a teeny little apartment in downtown Kyoto. You're going 300 square feet. It's the size of a bedroom, Nick. But in New York City, you pay $4,000 a month for something that's just a little bit bigger, maybe the size of your garage. And guess what? Interest rates are less than 1% here. That's almost free. Imagine that.
Oh, there's like a whole walk around up here. Wow. Nice place. Wow.
And check out the quality of their new houses here, everyone. We checked out some of the new model homes here, and y'all, our new home builds, they're crap compared to Japan's. Here it's high quality. Good wood built with care and precision. In the US, it's mass manufactured crap thrown up by illegals and cheap Canadian pine. Not here. And they're even cheaper. As you may be aware, there's not a lot of open space in Japan. Japan's about the same size as California, but 2/3 is mountains, so you kind of have 100 million people squished into an area the size of Florida. Yeah. So they don't have these big sprawling malls. They don't have these big parking lots. They don't have a lot of wasted space. The transportation system here is very efficient. It's very modern. It's very safe. It's very clean. OMG, people. No bums, no BS, no weirdos anywhere, especially on the trains. Look at their bullet trains. How nice they are. And how fast they are. Gavin Newsom is so jelly. He'll never have this. Ever.
I guess you could call this the Baltimore of Japan, maybe. Is this Japan's Oakland?
Now this is their ghetto here. We took a trip to Nishinari, the famous Osaka slum. LOL. This is what Japan thinks is their worst hood in the entire country, probably because people are poor and crime is the highest. Well, we walked around here for a half a day. I was like, this looks like the nice part of the bad side of LA. I don't think they realize how good they have it here if they think this is their hood. We did a whole dispatch in this hood. You should watch it, it's pretty good.
All right, this is the Japanese projects. Not like the projects where you and I live. Very clean. No yelling and screaming and you know what happens in our projects. Shootings, fights, stabbings. And this is super clean and well maintained and they got pride in it. And what do we need to do different? What can we learn from these strange people? Don't say I don't risk it all for you guys. I'm very brave to be doing this. Going to the Japanese housing projects. No hoopties. No trash. No drive-bys. Well, this looks like it'd be like a normal apartment building where you live. Uh-oh, I found a pack of menthols in the project bushes. Uh-oh. Religion and politics don't dominate the way of life in Japan like they do back in the States. In Japan, they practice Shinto and Buddhism. But most people in Japan, they're non-religious in a Western sense. They don't go to church every week. They don't read a holy book. It's less about what you believe and more about applying the teachings and traditions in your daily life. It's very socially conservative here. Traditional gender roles are the way to go. Gay stuff's tolerated more now, but gay marriage is not legal. It's one of the only modern Western countries where same-sex marriage is not recognized. All right, what's your name, man?
My name's Dinah.
All right, and you lived in the U.S., you live in Japan now. What are some of the biggest differences that you've noticed between the countries and the cultures, things that stand out besides the food and the language?
Maybe the culture too, hospitality. I think that plays a big part. It's like I see people like lying on the ground, and people be helping those people out instead of like robbing them. So I feel like that's one of the, I don't know, the most important part of Japan is like safety. It's really safe for people to live, and I really like that part. But yeah, I think that's the biggest hot take in Japan.
Why is it so safe here?
I think it's mostly culture, but people are, they just mind their own business. Yeah, I feel like that's the biggest part about why Japan's safe, and their culture of like, I don't know what kind of culture it is, but clean. They like to stay clean and stuff. So I feel like that plays a big part of the safety in Japan.
Japan's biggest headache right now is China and North Korea. They do not like China. I think one of the reasons is because all the Chinese people are coming over to Japan and buying up their land, just like they are in America, right? I think there's a bunch of reasons they don't like China, because of Taiwan and a bunch of other stuff. So we talked about the population problem. They're having the same problem that all the other Western countries are having. Their kids just aren't having kids. It's kind of hard to tell when you're in the big cities, but you get out in the sticks, you can really see it. But they've seen what happens when other countries have opened their borders to allow immigrants in, and they do not want the problems that are happening when you open up your borders. I was told Japanese people have seen what's going on in Europe and in the US and Canada, and they're becoming pretty xenophobic now. I was also told the Japanese would rather die a slow death, just fall on their own swords, than be damned and allow their blood to be diluted by foreigners. The new Japanese prime minister, that's her right there, she believes in Trump's philosophies on strict immigration. Look, she even hugged him. It was hard to talk about politics here. It was just hard communicating anything with these folks. But I was able to talk to some Japanese residents and some people that were expatriates from the US. And the common theme is, look, we love the USA. We love you guys. We're just not so sure about your current president. He seems so impossible to predict. But I know they like our wallet.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, Japanese people like America. We are friends to America. Yeah. Oh, Chinese okay, but we are best friend America.
I like that guy. But Nick, it sounds like you're kissing Japan's ass.
No, Mappy, come on now. Go USA. We're number one. I'm just saying that it kind of appears to me that we could probably take a lot of what Japan is doing and learn from them and apply it back home. That's all. But we're not going to. We know that.
We need to stop bringing in immigrants like Japan does, and stop giving our junkies more drugs. But if Japan tried to tell me I can't have a gun, they're gonna have to take it away by force. The cops here aren't even tough. They have sticks, that's all. Hey, give that back to me. You don't know who you're messing with, lady.
It seems like the U.S. and people are a little bit more like open and personality-wise.
True, yeah.
Like here, it seems like they're like a lot more reserved.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
In that case, I really like the US people more because they're more honest. Japan people are like more, they show their fake selves more, and they want to, pretend they're like a nice people. I feel like I shouldn't say these stuff, but like I really feel that living here. So I really like how the US people are really open and they're like always honest and showing their true selves. So I feel like that's I like about US more than Japan.
The Japanese people want the same thing you do. A house, maybe a kid, and a job that they'll spend most of their lives tied to. But being here for a few weeks, I think the biggest difference is the personalities. The Japanese, they're very reserved. They don't show their individual selves. There isn't nearly as much friendly waving and small talk, big gestures. They don't really express themselves. Especially after the age of 25, the adults are walking around in their own little bubbles. They don't make a lot of eye contact. I don't think I could do it. But it's working for them. It's safe, homogeneous, orderly, and it's efficient. If you're watching this thinking, I'm moving there, Nick, that looks great. Well, no, you probably are not. It's possible. There's a lot to it. I'm not going to explain it. But it ain't easy. They make it hard. As they should. Okay, so we're now the most traveled channel in America. We've seen so many places and continue to get into the rest of America. If you're looking to move and you want help with the real estate agent or need ideas on where you can move, email me or click the link in the description. My video call consulting program might be perfect for you. I also have a new ebook. It's a comprehensive guide on the best and sometimes worst parts of the country that you can move to. We update that book all the time as we travel. The details for the consulting program and the ebook are in the description below. If you want Mappy merch, like t-shirts, stickers, and mugs, there's a link to my store in the description, or just click store at the top of the channel. You should think about joining as a channel member. Click the link in the description, or click on membership at the top of the page, or just scan this QR code on your screen. As a member, you'll get to see all the excerpts, Mappy bloopers, and uncensored content. There's even stuff I did back in college on there. I also do cameos. I can send your birthday wishes or hellos or whatever you want in a video message straight to your inbox. The link to my Cameo page is in the description. And finally, we have another channel that you should subscribe to. It's called Interviews Across America, where I upload all the uncut, complete interviews with real Americans from all walks of life. The link for that channel is in the description too, or just search for Interviews Across America. That's it. Thanks for watching.